So, good afternoon, everyone. 37. Okay, some of you have written your practical in biology practical copy. Why? Biology practical copy is only used for biology practical, not for chemistry. If you have not buy your chemistry practical copy, then I have told you to write in rough copy and show me. But some of you have written in biology practical copy, so I will not sign on that copy. Okay, biology practical copy I will not accept. So, those who have written in biology practical copy, buy chemistry practical copy and write in practical copy. Okay, chemistry practical copy. Then only I will sign it. And some of you have written in. No, I found one student have written in the blank page of the practical copy. So, are you present in this class? Who have written the in blank page? Are you present in this class? Okay, someone have written the practical in blank page. So that page is not to write. Okay, that page is only used to draw the something if you need, and this page is only used for calculation by on not by pen. Okay, you can do calculation on this page only with pencil, not with pen. So you cannot use the pen on the blank page. Got it, everyone? Do you understand what I am talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And many of you have not written an experiment date also. Experiment date, page number you have to write. So I am going to discuss the fifth experiment. That one is I am sharing the PDF. So this one, can you see this? This PDF file I have made from Pixar. I have take picture and make PDF. So this practical experiment, name of the experiment is to determine the unknown given acid radical. Okay. Okay, to determine the unknown acid radical, first of you you have to see the physical character. That one is appearance, color, and solubility. First, you have to check this. So for this, this practical you have you know from the experiment number 4. So in experiment number 4, uh, this are the experiment number 4 actually. What is, you can see the color, you can see the appearance means physical state. Okay, what whether it is crystalline or amorphous, so you have to write down this. And you have to write down the solubility, in which solvent the salt is dissolving. You have to write down that. Okay, to determine the unknown acid radical from a given salt. So from salt, experiment number 4, you all of you have known that acid is a salt is acid radical and basic radical. When it will be together, then it will be a salt. Okay, so from the salt, in this practical you have to determine what acid radical can be present in a salt. Okay, so examiner will be provided salt, and first of all you have to see the physical character. Physical character means appearance, color, and solubility. You have checked first. Next, you have to test this for first of you have to do dry test to know unknown acid radical. Next, you have to do wet test for unknown acid radical. Got it? So first, you have to do dry test for unknown acid radical. Dry test means you cannot use water or you cannot use any solvent. Solvent means it should be dry. Okay. In what apparatus you want to do this test, that should be a dry apparatus. Got it? So this practical don't need to do write down the theory. You can directly write down this experiment. Okay, so I will give this PDF in your WhatsApp group. I will discuss today. After that, I will give you PDF. Got it? So dry test for unknown acid radical, what you have to do, you have to take a pinch of salt in a test tube, and you have to in a dry test tube. Actually, the test tube should be dry. Got it? So take a pinch of salt in a dry test tube, and you add dilute H2SO4. H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. Do you know this? So some of you know, but some of you don't know. So in laboratory, sulfuric acid is present as dilute as sulfuric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid. So for dry test to unknown acid radical, you have to take dilute H2SO4 first. So salt plus dilute H2SO4, when you add dilute H2SO4 in the test tube, then uh, the observation can be a colorless, odorless gas is involved with Briggs evaporance. So observation, you can see this. You may not see, or you can see. If you can see the colorless, odorless gas is coming out from the test tube, that means the CO3 2 minus is present. Okay, if you cannot observe this colorless, odorless gas is coming out from the test tube, that means CO3 minus 2 minus is absent. Got it? Everyone got it? Still, some of you sending the practical in WhatsApp group. Why you are not present in class? And some of you are sending roll numbers in chat box. Should I ask to give it? Don't give the roll numbers for now. I will ask to give it. Okay. For now, you only concentrate in practical copies. In when the practical will be start, I am not going to teach this again in practical lab. I will directly go through. I will give you the salt, and you have to do by yourself only. So if you don't observe the colorless odorless gas coming out from the test tube, that means this one is absent. Then you go through the concentrated H2SO4. Next, in a clean test tube, dry clean test tube, you have to take a pinch of salt. Then you have to add concentrated H2SO4. Okay. So when you add concentrated H2SO4, as soon as you give the concentrated H2SO4, SO4, you can observe four observation. You can observe these four observation you can observe. So first observation, you may see colorless fumes with pungent smell, which gives cloudly white fumes when a glass rod is dipped in a aluminum hydroxide solution and brought near the mouth of the test tube due to the formation of sodium chloride. If you see this observation, that means chlorine may be present. Okay, chloride may be present. Got it? So, what this means, if you add salt and concentrated H2SO4, as soon as you add the concentrated H2SO4 in the test tube, you can see a colorless fumes with pungent smell. Okay, which gives a cloudly white. This means what? Uh, you have to dip a glass rod in a aluminum hydroxide solution, and if this chloride is present, then only if you keep the glass rod in the mouth of the test tube, dipping in the aluminum hydroxide, then the color of the cloud may be white. That means the color which is coming out, it can be white. Got it? How can be the cloud? Can you imagine that? Talk to me. Do you understand what I am talking? Yes or not? You are all of you are mute. Why? If you are not understanding, then ask me.
Explain again, ma'am.
Explain again. From where? From first?
Try this one.
Okay, dry test only. Okay. So, what this is the practical is all about to determine the acid radical. In a previous experiment, all of you know that if the acid radical and basic radical are together, then it form a salt. So a salt contain a acid radical and a basic radical. Got it? So in this practical, you have to determine what the acid radical can be present in the salt. Okay, so many salt are there in chemistry. So you have to you can search in Google how many so many salt will be you can see. So one salt will be provided to you, and you have to determine what acid radical can be present in that salt. Okay, so to determine what is the acid radical can be present in the salt, you have to do first you have to do dry test for acid radical to determine acid radical. Next you have to do wet test. Dry test means in which apparatus you are going to do the practical or do the test, that apparatus should be dry. Okay, it cannot be in this apparatus the means it dry means what? All of you know what is dry? It cannot be a moisture. Okay, so you dry test, for dry test the apparatus should be dry. So we are going to do this experiment in first test tube. So test tube should be dry first. So first test is salt plus dilute H2SO4. You have to take a pinch of salt and you have to add dilute H2SO4. Okay, so you can see or you cannot be see means you may see if you if the uh, okay, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute, just wait a minute. Okay, I am back. So first test is salt plus dilute H2SO4. If as soon as you add the dilute H2SO4 in the test tube, the you can see a colorless gas and a odorless gas can be evolved with a Briggs evaporance. Okay, so you may not be see or you may see, if you can see the colorless odorless is coming out from the test tube, that means carbonate ion present. Got it? If you cannot see, if the colorless odorless gas is not coming out from the test tube, that means carbonate ion is absent. CO3 2 minus ion is absent. Got it? If it is present, then you have to do salt plus concentrated H2SO4. If carbonate ion is absent, then you have to do, means if it is present or not, you have to do the other practical, other test. Got it? What I am saying means carbonate is absent or present, you have to do other test also. Next test is, what is the next test? Next you have to take a clean and dry test tube and you have to take a pinch of salt and you should add a concentrated H2SO4. Then you can observe 4 observation. First observation is colorless fume with pungent smell can be coming out from the test tube. Next observation is reddish brown fume with pungent smell can be coming out from the test tube. Next observation can be violet vapors turning violet color vapor can be coming out from the test tube. Next is light brown fumes can be coming out from the test tube. So these are the 4 observation for next test, test number 2. If colorless fumes is coming from the test tube, that means chloride may be present. Got it? If reddish brown fumes are coming out from the test tube, that means bromide ion is present. And if the violet vapor is coming out, that means iodide ion are present. If light brown fumes are involved, light brown fumes are coming out from the test tube, that means nitrite present. Got it? If colorless fumes are not observing, that means chloride absent. Reddish brown color is not coming out, that is bromide absent. So when you are going to write down the practical, you have to write observation. If for this carbonate ion, for first one experiment, that means first test, you have to write no, if this one carbonate ion is present, then you have to write a colorless odorless gas evolved with Briggs reverberance can be seen or can be observed. Then you have to inference you have to write down carbonate ion present. If you cannot see the colorless odorless gas is not coming out from the test tube, then you have to write down that no colorless odorless gas is observed. Then in inference, you have to write down carbonate ion are absent. Got it? Next, for second test, if chloride ion are present, then you have to write down that colorless fumes with pungent smell can be observed. That means in inference you have to write chloride may be present. If chloride ion is absent, then you have to write chloride ion is absent. So leave this. I will explain later for how to write down in practical copy. For now, I am going to discuss what is this. Okay. How to write the practical I will discuss later. So after second test, you have to do third test. So you can see the in number 3 test here. You have to take another test tube, clean test tube, dry test tube, and you have to take a pinch of salt and you have to add concentrated sulfuric acid plus magnesium manganese oxide powder. Manganese oxide you can found as a powdered form. Then you have to heat it. This triangle means heat. You have to heat this. Got it? After doing this test, you can observe 3 observations. First observation is greenish yellow gas is coming out from the test tube. Observation 2, intense reddish brown fume is coming from the test tube. And third one is violet vapor can be coming out from the test tube. These 3 observations can be seen for third experiment, third test. Got it? If reddish brown gas is coming out, that means chloride present. If reddish brown fumes are coming out from the test tube, that means bromide present. If violet vapor is coming out, that means iodide present. Got it? So if you cannot see this observation, in chloride may be absent, bromide may be absent, iodide may be absent. Which you found, you have to write down for that there is present. After that, number 4 test is salt plus concentrated H2SO4 plus copper. Then you have to heat it. So for this test, you can observe one observation. That one is reddish brown fumes can be observed. If you found reddish brown fumes are coming out from the test tube, that means nitrite may be present. Got it? So if you cannot observe reddish brown fumes, that means nitrite absent. Got this? These 4 tests are dry tests. You cannot use water or any other solvent for these 4 tests. After this, you will found a acidic ion. After doing this 4 experiment, you can get a acidic ion. Got it? Next, you have to be confirmed, no? So we have do the wet test. Then you have to you have done the dry test. Then you have to do the wet test also to know what acid radical can be present. For that, you have to know. You have to do 3 tests. That one is first test can be salt solution plus beryllium chloride. Salt solution means what? You have to do a salt solution. So you have to check first solubility. So from solubility test, all of you can know what solvent are perfect for this salt. So take the solvent, means you have to dissolve the salt in that solvent, perfect solvent. Then you have to add beryllium chloride. Beryllium chloride as a solution you can found in laboratory. After adding beryllium chloride, the two observation can be found. What is this? That first one is white precipitate can be formed, and that precipitate can be soluble in dilute HNO3 nitric acid solution. Got it? Um, if you take a salt solution and you add beryllium chloride, after adding beryllium chloride, white precipitate can be formed. So that precipitate can be dissolved in HNO3 nitric acid and cannot be dissolved in HNO3. Got it? If the white precipitate is soluble in nitric acid, that means carbonate ion are present. If the wet precipitate is not dissolving in dilute HNO3 or concentrated HNO3, that means sulfate is present. Got it? So from this, if carbonate also absent, sulfate is also absent, then you go through the second experiment, the second test. For second test, you have to take salt solution plus silver nitrate solution. After adding silver nitrate solution in salt solution, you can found three observation. First observation is white precipitate can be formed, and that precipitate is soluble in ammonium hydroxide. If the precipitate is dissolving in ammonium hydroxide, that means chloride present. Okay. Second observation is pale yellow precipitate. The precipitate can be formed, and this precipitate, if soluble in ammonium hydroxide solution, that means bromide ion are present. Pale yellow. Okay. Next observation, you can found yellow precipitate can be formed, and this yellow precipitate are insoluble in ammonium hydroxide. That means iodide present. Got it? Next, after doing this second test, you have to go through with the third test, ring test. Okay. For ring test, some of you already know what is a ring test and how to do this test. So those who don't know, for ring test, you have to take a salt solution and add a freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. Ferrous sulfate solution, this all solution you may get in laboratory. Okay. So for ring test, you have to take a salt solution in a test tube and next add ferrous sulfate solution. Next, cool the mixture under the tap water and add 2 or 3 drops of H2SO4 alongside of the test tube. Means you cannot add this H2SO4 directly to the test tube. You have to add along the side of the test tube. Means how can I show how to understand what I am talking, that you cannot add the H2SO4 directly to the test tube. Okay, you have to add the H2SO4 along with the side of the test tube. Then after doing this, you can see a dark brown ring can be formed. If you found a dark brown ring is present, is forming, that means nitrite ion is confirmed. Got it? If you cannot see the dark brown ring, that means nitrite are absent. Okay. So these three are wet test for to determine the unknown acid radical. So we have done dry test and we have done wet test. So after this, after doing this experiment, after doing this test, we, you can observe the acid radical. You can found a acid radical present in the salt. Okay. To then you have to confirm that acid radical. Okay, you have to, this may be present, we are not confirmed yet now. So you have to confirm that acid radical is present in the salt. So for confirmation test, these are the confirmation test what radical you found. Okay, so if carbonate ion you found in above experiment, then you go through this confirmatory test for carbonate. Got it? Next, if sulfate ion is present, if found in above experiment dry test and UV test, then you go through the confirmatory test of sulfate. If chloride ion present, then you go through confirmatory test of chlorine. If bromide and iodide are present, you go through this confirmatory test of bromide and iodide ion. If nitrate present, then you go through the confirmatory test for nitrate ion. Okay. If if the ions you don't found, don't do the confirmatory test for that ion. Which ion you found, only do the confirmatory test for that ion only. Everyone got it?
Yes, ma'am.
To understand this
Yes,
experiment,
ma'am.
so I will give you the PDF. Don't write now, write later, because this experiment is last experiment for you. So I will discuss again this experiment. If you have any question, if you are not able to understand, then ask me today. All of you understand this experiment?
Salt solution tobacco juice, ma'am.
Salt solution. What is a salt solution, right? So,
Yes, ma'am.
first of all, we have to test the solubility of the salt, right? So, if we found that solution, the salt is dissolving water, then for solubility, you have to write down the salt is soluble in water. Salt solution is that you, in which solvent the salt is dissolving, you should dissolve the salt in that perfect solvent and you make a solution means you have to dissolve the salt in that solvent. Got it? This one is a salt solution. The
Okay, ma'am.
salt should be soluble, completely soluble. Okay, salt solution you understand? Anyone
Yes,
have
ma'am.
any other question? The page is so dirty because I have take picture of these pages and I made a PDF. So later I will give how to write down the practical. I will discuss how to write down the practical later. For now, do you understand this practical? What to do? For this practical, you don't need the theory. You don't need to write down the apparatus you need. You directly do. You directly write down the aim of the experiment. Then physical character. You write down this. Next, dry test, wet test, and confirmatory test.
Okay, ma'am.
So give your roll numbers in chat box now. And share from every department, collect the roll numbers and give it to me. Everyone give your roll numbers in chat box and share from every department, record the roll numbers and give it to me. Do you have any question? Okay, I will go. I will ask you question. So give some example of salt. Give some example of salt. Done means attendance done or not? Still, do you have all of you have given your roll numbers in chat box? Anyone left? Okay, I think it's done. CR, please record the roll numbers. CR from every department, record the roll number first. I'm going to ask question right now. Okay, done? Talk to me, na.
হেল্ল' মেম
Yes?
মেম আগৰ এক্সপেৰিমেণ্ট কেইটা দিব পাৰিব নেকি বাৰু আমি
আগৰ
নতুনকৈ জইন হৈছিলোঁ
এক্সপেৰিমেণ্ট তোমাৰ ফ্ৰেণ্ডৰ পৰা খুজি লোৱাচোন।
অঁ আপুনি দি দিব
তোমাৰ কি ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট?
মোৰ ৰেডিঅ'লজি ডিআৰটি
DRT. Okay, CR of DRT. Share the PDF of previous experiment with Ranjo Jyoti Sonwal, right? What is your name?
ৰঞ্জিত
Ranjo Jyoti Sonwal. Okay. Your friend is asking for PDF, so share from DRT. You share the PDF of previous experiment.
Okay, ma'am.
হয়
Every new student, you can ask your CR to share the previous experiment. This one is fifth experiment, and write down the date of this fifth experiment. Everyone note down the date of the fifth experiment. Don't ask me later. CR from every department, are you here? Are you present here or not? Because I am not recording the roll numbers. If you are not present, then it will be difficult for everyone. Can you respond? See,
Yes, ma'am. I will give you
from which department you are?
from DRT.
Okay, dear T Disha Deka. Next, DDIT.
Then I
DDIT.
already give. I already give.
Okay, DDIT given. DOT done, ma'am. Okay, DDIT, DOT done. DPT
Done, ma'am.
done. Okay. And which department left out? DRT, DOT, DPT, DDIT. Okay. Okay, so I am going to ask some question for now. So give some example of salt. How many example you know? Give write down in chat box. All of
Ma'am,
you
sodium chloride.
write down in chat
Ma'am,
box. Okay, sodium chloride I have already given. Sodium chloride and copper chloride I think I have given.
ma'am,
Except
potassium dichromate.
yes, potassium dichromate. Do you write down the formula of potassium dichromate? You can write in chat box. Farista, sorry, Farista ne Farizatun Begum. Okay, sorry,
Okay, ma'am.
Farizatun. Write down the example in chat box. Zina Chakraborty, Magnesium sulfate. Zina Chakraborty, can you write down the formula of magnesium sulfate? Copper sulfate, okay. Yes. So any other salt? All of you. Some people are giving answer. What about the others? Sanjana Paul, do you know the name of this one? Do you know the name? Farizatul Begum, this one is already given. Already given by Sanjana Paul. Okay. Only some students are giving. So what happened to other students? Potassium dichromate. Okay. So I have told that salt contains a acidic ion and a basic ion. Okay, so this experiment number 5 is all about the acidic radical. What can be the acidic radical? You can determine from this experiment. Potassium bicarbonate. Okay. Darshana Kashyap, do you know what is the name of this? Potassium thiocyanate. Okay. Very good, everyone who are giving answer. Copper sulfate. Sonmoni Bora, do you know this name you have written here? Sodium. Sodium bisulfate. Magnesium carbonate. Magnesium sulfate. Okay. Okay, all of you take a screenshot who have given the answer, chat box. All of you take a screenshot of chat box because external can be asked you to give some example of salt. Then here so many salt are present in chat box, na? So take a screenshot of chat box. These are the important salt can be asked by external in 5 exam. Got it? All of you take a screenshot.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
External can be asked how have done the practical, how can you found how you can found the acid radical for the given salt. Okay, so be ready with this type of question from this experiment. So thank you everyone. I'm going to end the class right here. You can
Okay, ma'am.
please leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you everyone.